All right, guys, we are back with another great episode of Bass Cast Radio. I am Brian, your host, and we got Hank, the Bass Geek, back with us as always. A co-hostess with the mostest. There you go. What's up, brother? Welcome back. It feels like we've been gone for like a month, but it's only been a week because of the holidays.
I know.
So I mean, happy turkey. Hope you guys all had a great time with family and friends. Mine went by as always, and I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, me too. You know what I always say. Thanksgiving's for family.
Yes.
Christmas is for kids. New Year's is for me to drink enough that I forget both those holidays existed this year.
That's pretty awesome. All right, let's move on. That is too funny though. All right, so there you go. There's our take on the holidays. For you guys who love the holidays, who don't want to upset anyone out there, there's a lot of people out there who love all those holidays, and that's the end of that. Enjoy the holidays, enjoy the time with the family. Me and Danielle did a little getaway over the weekend. It was good to actually kind of move out of the office, and I kind of left my website alone a little bit. Because as I've been telling you guys, there's a new one coming. It's I've already been through the screenshots I went through yesterday and verified everything. There are some updates. So it's a new website does take a little while.
It does.
And we really didn't want to build it now, but it happened that way. Things happen. So the website's being worked, is being built. It looks good. It's Bass Cast green, a little black maybe. I ain't gonna tell you guys the rest of it. But it's a great looking site. I'm happy to have it. And like I said, I'm hoping, I've already told him I got to have it up by Saturday because we're back on the road again this weekend for the Cat on Smith Mountain Lake. I haven't decided whether I'm going to Bugs yet or not Cat's on Sunday on Smith Mountain Lake. Bugs is Cat again. So I haven't decided whether I want to run down there or not. We'll see what the weather ends up looking like for the weekend. Hey, I did hear today, Geek, December the 13th or 14th, they call for snow. I know that's a long ways out.
Not that long. Of course, it's going to be on my days off. So yeah, I seen some possible snow flurries coming up on my 7-day stretch, which I intend to do a lot of fishing. But of course, it's been beautiful the past 3 days here. So, and I've had to work.
Yeah, the weather has been, pretty daggone decent until this rain came through here for us this morning about 2, and it dumped till about after lunchtime. But I tell you one thing, we need the rain real bad. A lot of lakes around here are a couple feet low. And Smith Mountain Lake, December the 10th, the home of the Bass Cast Championship, 27 boats. I think it's what Danielle told me qualified for that.
Nice.
They need about 3 feet of water. So
that's pretty far down for you guys. But like if you look at my last 2 videos, it's like 13 foot down, and I'm like, man, this is still pretty high for this time of year.
Wow. So what's been going on in your world, Geek?
Man, I did take Sunday off. Didn't put a video out. Dropped a new video for everybody listening and watching. Dropped it yesterday. So Sunday and Wednesday is when we drop videos over on the Bass Geek YouTube page. Got a little video. I talked about this earlier in the year. We talked about tight lining, which is kind of a winter cheat code, and that's kind of what we put in the thumbnail. It's a neat little light line, light tackle, but it is what I call the guaranteed way to get a limit. You might not win, but during the wintertime, you will catch a limit doing this if you get it.
Fish.
Yeah, if you master it, and it's pretty easy to master.
All right. So guys, head on over to the Bass Geek YouTube channel and make sure you hit the like button, and then as always, hit the bell so that way you never miss an episode of Bass Geek Radio.
Oh, I do have one thing that I have to say. By the way, we've got an awesome new Catch More Fish shirt.
Oh.
That is only running through December. Now you can see it in that latest video. We put a little thing up. It's a play on a very well-known adult beverage logo. So, but it's cool. You will love it.
I have seen it. It is Brian approved, and I'm a graphic artist major. So, yes, it looks really, really good. So, you guys need to head on over. What's the retail? What's the value on them, brother?
Retail, I think, is $25, but it's high quality t-shirts, and we've got them for the big boys. I'm a 3X. And mine fits very well. I think we've got them all the way up to 4 and 5 at least, if not more. So I got them in red, white, and black, the traditional colors that these shirts would have come in back in the day. And I've got a black one. I'm thinking about getting a red one too, just because it's Christmassy, because it's, red and gold.
There you go. All right, guys, before we break into tonight's guest, I forgot to bring this up, guys. Band. I know you guys have heard me talk about it for the last couple of days. I've been reading a lot of articles about Facebook. Facebook's going through a cleaning process right now. And right now, they're not liking the bass cast or anything really dealing with bass fishing. I've got another person that I know personally. His stuff's being deleted or being blocked. I know 3 accounts personally that have been completely deleted. And I know he doesn't post any politics. He don't post any crap like that. He is pretty much his wife, Liberty University football, and bass fishing, because he's ate up with it. He got deleted. I mean, we're talking about thousands of followers gone. So if you don't want to be deleted and you still love the sport of bass fishing, we're not asking you to give up your Facebook page. We're just really giving you another platform. I'm big into Gary Vaynerchuk, and he always talks about, he always talks about don't put all your marbles in one basket. You guys have all heard that. Yep. Don't rely on the Facebook gods, because they in control. Well, if you click one of the links on our Facebook page or Instagram page we've been putting up the last couple of days, it'll take you to Band. And I'll put the link in this podcast as well. You guys can go sign up. You can even sign up with your Facebook ID. I'm not asking you guys to do that. I'm asking you can either do your telephone number or your email address. Do either one of those, just in case something does happen to your account.
Indeed.
And then you can share Band with your friends. The cool thing about it is, what I'm hoping from this is for a lot of you guys out there who are listening who says, I hate social media. I don't want to see the politics. I don't want to see someone try to push something on me. I don't want the sales ads. Come to Band. You can follow the Basscast. You can follow Basscast Radio. You can follow the Basscast Kayak series. Our fantasy fishing is up there as well already, because that kicks off in January. 2 months away, guys.
Crazy.
It is crazy. So we got you covered on Band. I ain't gonna say nothing about. I ain't gonna sell you nothing, because we are affiliated with a couple of different companies we'd like you to purchase through. But you're not gonna be pushed on a lot of stuff, and you can upload your own content on this. I mean, that's a cool thing about it. It is a group page. We're gonna post our stuff. You're gonna post your stuff, and we'll see it all together. And We'll be able to share and comment, tag. You can do everything on Facebook. You can message Bass Geek when he gets on there. You can FaceTime Bass Geek when he gets on there if you want. I can post something tonight and tag Bass Geek. I mean, it's in a group setting, and the Basscast is a group. So head on over and follow that. We really appreciate if you do that. Guys, Conrad Brothers Marine, Bass Tank, Lynchburg Arms, Missile Baits, SML Tackle Shack, Angler's Choice online store, guys, just opened up this week. It's actually really good. I actually looked at it last night for a little while. They did a really good job with that. So head on over and check out their online store. And I didn't post that on Facebook, guys. I put it in Band. We're still going to post to Facebook. We're still going to post to Instagram, guys. We want the community to be in Band. WW Novelty, And I think I said Lynchburg Arms. Thank you to all of them for being a sponsor of the basscast.com. And right here, Wildland Coffee. Hey, I saw something about Wildland today. This dude is hustling like a mofo, and he just put all his coffee in a big freaking hotel out there where he lives.
Nice.
Fancy pantsy hotel. I'm not talking about a Holiday Inn Select, guys. I'm talking about like a big fancy hotel, because this stuff is good. I'm not lying to you guys. It is good. Do you ever wish your morning coffee on the lake or river was easier and better tasting? How frustrating it is when you use a French press and have to clean up, or God forbid, you drink instant coffee. That's why Wildland Coffee exists, to solve these problems. Wildland Coffee is a proud supporter of this podcast, and we are stoked to support. They're stoked to support us. Wildland Coffee puts delicious, freshly ground coffee in a tea bag. You might be thinking, that can't be good. Hear me out, guys. Dude, guys, like I said, this stuff is great. All you need is hot water, and you have an amazing cup of coffee with no mess or cleanup. I'll be honest, it's replaced my French press that I take with me, because I've got a lot of trips this year that are going to be sleeping out of the back of the 4Runner. Use BassCast10 to get 10% off your first order at wildlandcoffee.co.co. And we want to thank them for being a part of Basscast Radio. So thank you very much to all of them. All right, guys, tonight we have the Fluke Master back on with us. We had him on at the beginning of the year. Let's get him at the end of the year. We'll do a little recapping.
Yeah, there we go.
And it was a up and down. We saw a few things, a few things happen in 2022 we're going to talk about. And then we're going to talk about some wintertime kayak fishing and some recommendations and tips for you guys, because it is different. You can't just, you can, but it probably ain't the safest thing during summertime, put in and run across the lake 3 miles using whatever you have, for your motor. So, we're going to talk about a bunch of tips. We got Mr. Gene Jensen on with us tonight. So, guys, Mr. Gene Jensen. All right, guys, Gene Jensen is back with us. What's happening, brother? Welcome back to the show.
What is up, man? Not much is happening. It's getting cold. That's all I know.
I know. I told Hoodie, I told Geek, I said, I think I need to put a hoodie on, man. It's a little cooler down here than I thought I was in the basement.
Yeah, my thermostat for my basement office is up. The thermostat's upstairs. So.
I don't have heat. I never had heat down here because I really most of the time work upstairs. So it was like I never cut the ducts in. So here we are with you get what you get.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about 2022, Gene. What do we want to say it is a roller coaster, or do we want to say
for me it wasn't too bad. I mean, I made some mistakes in the tournament world, but what I decided to do at the beginning of the year was just to see how I would do in tournaments, because really YouTube started and I stopped doing tournaments, and I wanted to see how much better I had gotten over the years. And so to my surprise, it was pretty darn good. I mean, I won one and got DQ'd from it because I was fishing out of bounds for just one fish, I believe. And and I didn't know I was out of bounds. It's a whole different story, but it's it is what it is. And so, but again, it didn't hurt my feelings. I did lose about $1,200, but that's not what I did this for. And so it really wasn't that big of a deal in my head. And so I turned around and went to the next tournament, came in fourth in that one. And then the next tournament I won again. And so, it's just, I had a good year in my mind, but now it's ready to, I'm putting tournaments aside and going back to the grind and going to hit the YouTube hard. So y'all look out. So
there you go.
Yeah. There's that term. I live by the term you told me one time, about YouTube, just learning to love the grind. It really is. I tell people all the time, very rarely is there anybody, especially now, it's so saturated, that you're going to just go.
Yep. And I'm going to go back to editing all my own videos and and the whole 9 yards. So it's going to be grinding, and I'm looking forward to it. Really,
that's going to be grinding. That is going to be grinding.
What made you decide to go back to editing your own videos? Because for a lot of people out there don't really understand. You can record all day long, but when you and that's the easy part. And now we're looking, a lot of people, we're looking at Brandon Polnick's videos. We're looking at a lot of different people's videos, John Cruz, that have a professional with them and a professional editor. Because it's almost a TV show now. It really is.
And you know what? I started this to be kind of anti-TV show.
Yeah.
13 years ago, all TV shows were, hey, watch me fish and buy the crap I'm using.
Correct.
And so I went anti-TV show, and I still am to a point. I mean, I'm filming a TV show down in Florida next week, but it's not my own. And I want to keep doing my instructionals pretty much the way I've been doing them, with a little bit of uptick in production. But I can do all that. Okay. But I want control of it. I want to be able to know exactly what clips I need to put where. I don't want to get an end result and it be missing things that I meant that I wanted to have in.
Yeah.
And that's even with my son editing. It every once in a while. Well, actually, just about every video there was I'm like, what happened to this? He was, oh no. And so I was just like, now that he's gone on his mission trip, I'm gonna take over and do it myself. So
all right. So there you guys hear it. Make sure, for you guys who are not following my boy Gene, the Fluke Master on YouTube, head on over and hit the button, hit the thumbs up, and hit the bell so you don't miss an episode. What do you think was your biggest high from 2022, brother?
Oh man. When I qualified for the 10 in the national championship.
Nice.
Okay. So I ended up the qualification for the trail. You had to finish in the top 10 in points in the trail series. So I had to have a really good finishing the first and second day of the championship, because those were the trail championships. And then the national championship is the third day.
Right.
But just the first 2 days, I had to have a good showing. And I went into that. Let's put it this way. Up to that point, when I had fished nearly 200 days, I had zeroed 5 days out of 200 this year. 4 of them were the 4 days before the national championship started. Because Kentucky Lake is an absolute junk monster. I mean, I have nothing nice to say about that lake right now. But I went into the first day, and I think I'm the only guy that was fishing the main lake. I wasn't back up a creek. I wasn't up a river. I was on the main lake in the mouth of a creek, fishing main lake points, grinding a jackhammer. I mean, I was slow rolling a jackhammer through rocks and getting good fish. So end of the second day, I think I was 6th or 5th or something like that in the trail, and it moved me all the way up to 2nd in points.
Wow.
So that qualified me. I went from 11th to 2nd. And that qualified me for the 10, which is end of January in Florida.
What was your biggest low?
Actually, that DQ was not my biggest low. I don't know that. When I got DQ'd, it was right before I left to go to Utah to fish the Utah tournament, and I had that entire 27-hour drive to get over it.
Oh, wow.
And so it was one of those things where I had to get myself mentally ready for the next tournament. So that really, if I had to put something on, I guess that was a low, but to me, it wasn't really. I let things roll off my back, so I don't really usually have a lot of lows, and my biggest low, I guess, was just when I noticed that my good friend Chad Hoover wasn't doing well mentally. He was grinding and grinding and grinding, and I looked at him this spring. I was like, dude, you just ask, what do you need me to do? And that's when I took over, and I grabbed the backdrop, and I told him not to come to any of the tournaments that I'm fishing, because I'll take care of the award ceremony and that kind of stuff. And so,
nice.
I guess that was the low, but it was more of me being a medic and looking at my buddy and saying, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, people don't really understand. I mean, just for me, just for all of us that are in the fishing industry and that are really deep in it. I mean, someone asked me, like, why don't you run some winter tournaments? I said, that's my time to, to like walk away for a little bit. And we really don't walk away much, because me and Geek were talking about it on the last episode.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking January the 20th, I go to an expo, and then February, and then March is the Bassmaster Classic, which we'll get to see each other again down in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, I've got 3 weeks that left before I start grinding again.
Wow.
So.
I don't think I've stopped yet. It's I was talking to a couple of my buddies that are on the elite tour, and they're like, yeah, we've been able to do this and do that. And I'm like, it must be nice to get about 3 months off at the end of the year. Like, I still have to be out there, Damiki rigging and freezing. And I'm like, oh God, I hate it.
Yeah, I guess for me, it was just I take every Saturday and Sunday off for my family. I don't film, I don't fish. I do that. And then I do have a video I need to shoot either this week or next week with an e-bike that I just got. Only contract I've ever signed with a Chinese company.
Oh my God,
that's because they said, all you got to do is shoot one video and a bunch of pictures and we'll give you an e-bike. And I'm like,
okay, I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'll do, and I've got the wildlife management area that surrounds my neighborhood is bike access only.
Nice.
Oh, sweet.
And so
that is sweet.
For deer hunting.
Yeah.
And it's a cargo bike. It'll hold 200 and some odd pounds on the back. So
yeah, that is killer.
So I'm gonna do a real cool video, kind of a hype style video for them and call it good.
That's awesome.
I'll be a sellout for one video.
Yeah, I never thought it would happen here, but this box showed up from called Puff and Drinkware, and I shot my first video this year, and I was like, holy cow. And then I got some more stuff in the mail. I'm like, this ain't me. I mean, I've never really thought of it as that, but we'll do it. I mean, I got some bug spray killer over here and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, if you hadn't seen already, the KBF 2023 schedule came out this week. Let's see here. I posted it over to our new group. The Polk County, Florida in January, like you were saying. Heading to Lake Murray, Lake Havasu. Lake Havasu. There you go. Sorry.
In California.
Yep. Lake St. Clair, Grand Lake, and they're coming my way. You guys come my way up Potomac River, which ain't too far from house, couple hours. Lake George, Chickamauga, and the California Delta.
Yeah.
Now, I think if I remember correctly, is this like the first year heading west, like that far west?
No, they had 3 tournaments in California this last year, and then one in Utah, the one I went to, and they had one in Arizona. They had one in Arizona. They had a lot of tournaments out west. They kind of backed off them a little bit, and then actually backed off having as many tournaments as he did this last year. But it's still going to include 2 trail tournaments for each stop. So a Saturday is a trail tournament, Sunday is a separate trail tournament. So the change in the qualification or in the points is your top 4. I think don't quote me, but I think pretty sure your top 4 tournaments is going to count towards your points, where this last year was your top 3.
Okay.
And so people can only need to go to, to get four finishes, they only got to go to 2 events. So
that's nice.
It's been an interesting year with with the tourney series, KBF, trying to keep up with the changes.
Yep.
What's with so many changes? I mean,
the national championship, the fact that people could go down a little ditch and go catch fish way out 7,000 miles from the lake.
That's a major one for us. That was like, are you serious?
Once he put it in stone, there was no backing up. I mean, it was already so, and he realized before the tournament started that maybe that wasn't the best idea. Okay. And so as soon as the tournament was over, he came out, changed the rules. Every tournament's going to have boundaries. They're going to have a map. You're going to know exactly where the boundaries are. You're going to know where all the launch points are. And if you want a launch point added to the map or to the tournament, you have to get it approved by a certain time before the tournament. And so what I see Chad has done and KBF has done is they've brought the rules down to where they are going to be more solid for the future. There's not going to be a whole lot of changes. Yeah. You remember, it's still evolving.
Oh yeah.
Still learning from our mistakes. And so,
because there's a whole lot of pages of rules, guys.
Yeah, there is
a whole lot of pages, because even Danielle read them, and she's a first-time kayak tournament director, and she read them like, holy crap, for real.
Yeah, but once you fished a few tournaments, it pretty much becomes second nature. And when my DQ happened, I got out of my kayak, I bank fished, it was perfectly legal. It was exactly what the tournament's things said, or what the rules were, or was within the rules, except for I was fishing behind a marina that had a sign somewhere out in La La Land that says no fishing, no fishing, no boats. But I had asked the lady at the marina, if the manager, and asked her, said, do you guys allow people to fish back there? She said, yeah, sure, all the time. And so, but the sign said, and I should have gone off the sign, but even that, they're going to change the getting out of your kayak rule to no more getting out of your kayak unless it is part of the individual event rules. Amend them. So like a river event where you're going to have to get out to get through some shoals or fish shoals and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be part of the main KBF rules. It's only, you just, from now on, you just can't get out of your kayak unless you got to go poop or pee, that kind of stuff.
I'm old. I have to get out of mine every 4 hours. I ain't gonna lie. My knees are locked up.
Oh goodness. I just turn sideways on a bona fide and have fun.
Most of the time I just poop and pee myself and just let it
go. But the changes I see this year are really heading in the right direction. And so the cool thing, what I'm going to be doing with Chad, and I don't know if he's announced this or not, so I may get in trouble.
That's all good.
Is I'm going to be doing some broadcasts with him about each tournament.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm not going to be fishing the tournaments. Me and him are going to be doing live broadcasts during the tournaments and that kind of stuff. At least that was his idea, and we'll see whether it happens or not. But I'd love to see it happen.
So do you guys see yourself kind of transitioning? Because now, I mean, that would be cool. That would be, going to the next level to where, maybe even you've got a couple of guys and some sort of camera boats, or some guys with some wireless, through the wireless interwebs, and being able to do the whole live thing. God, that would be so cool.
Awesome. I don't know if we'll do that this year, but we're definitely
but hopefully working toward that. That'd be next level right there.
Yeah.
And
awesome. we'll see what all we can do this year. But it's with the new KBF headquarters in Huntsville, Alabama. There's going to be some amazing things going on for the next 2 or 3 years. So, and I really do want to be a part of it. And so it's only 2 hours from me. So
what was with the move to Huntsville?
It was just they approached Huntsville for just looking for a place to do tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Huntsville came back and approached them and said, "Hey, look, we'll pay you X number, or we'll take care of X number of things." And it was a whole big old contract. If you guys can, it's a 10-year contract they have with Huntsville.
Oh wow!
Huntsville wants to be the kind of the center of kayak fishing.
Nice.
Kayak bass fishing or something like that. But it's just going to be really neat to see that. So with Huntsville backing him, backing KBF and that kind of stuff, it should be pretty cool. It really should. We'll see what happens. But
so far I like all the rules changes. A little more. I think it evens things out to a certain extent.
The goal is to get rid of all the gray areas.
There you go.
And the changes I see coming in the future are the ones when we find somebody cheating and we have to change something to.
Yeah. Well, there's always going to be, I'm a old school NASCAR guy, and
yep.
I was watching a Dale Jr. thing where they had a switch in the car that would empty BBs out of the frame of the car, so it made weight. There'd be BBs all over the track. So, so look, I don't want to call it cheating, but sometimes if you're not pushing those rules, are you doing everything you can to win? So
yeah, I would not want to be in charge of NASCAR. Gosh,
no,
what a joke! No,
all those engineers and stuff. Oh man, I would not want to do it.
I'll deal with some of these little creek weasels that are in KBF. That's what I call Russ Snyder's. Little creek weasel.
Dang. He's a fishing fool, though. Holy cow.
Yeah, dude, you ain't kidding.
We've had him on a show a couple times this year. Yep. So, I mean, it's like, The dude just keeps winning. I mean,
yeah. His personality reminds me a lot of Aaron Martin's.
Yes.
Like he's a tinkerer, you know, and Aaron was a tinkerer. And, you know, you go into Aaron's shop at his house and he was always in there trying to change or play around with tackle and stuff like that. And that's kind of the way Russ is. So it's pretty cool.
Well, let's dive into tackle. Let's talk about wintertime bass fishing and kayak fishing on top of that. But you know, when does Gene Jensen put the kayak away for the winter?
I don't.
Never.
Mm-mm.
Do you dress differently for the winter than, I mean, I know we dress differently, but do you know, recommendations? Because you guys got to know, you're in a kayak. If the thing flips over, you don't want to weigh 400 pounds, even though you might weigh 100.
Yeah. One of the things I always teach is be in a stable kayak. Yes. If you have a little cheap Ascend kayak or a Walmart kayak, just wait till the water warms up. Because if you fall in cold water, you don't have long. And so the best thing to do is that. And if you're talking about things to wear, the hunting coveralls and stuff that everybody wears deer hunting, once those things hit the water and soak up with water, I tend to say they become an anchor, but they don't really. They just are very difficult to get your butt up out of the water and back on your kayak.
They become very heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just take a big towel or a blanket and shove it in the bathtub and try to lift that towel up out of the bathtub. That's what happens. And so getting back into your kayak, which will save your life and many times, is very, very difficult. So things to wear would be, I wear a rain suit basically, but the bottoms are made by NRS and they're a wader. Not a waterproof wader, but they're designed to keep the water from getting inside of them, and they're as waterproof as they can be to shed the water off. So they're not going to absorb anything, and they're real tight around the waist. Even my fat belly, sometimes it's hard to breathe, but they're real tight so they don't allow the water in.
I know that feeling.
Getting that exposure gear is important, and that can be upwards of from $300 to $800.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
No, I mean, safety is definitely not cheap.
Yeah.
But again, I always say, what's your life worth?
Yeah, what's your life worth? Yeah, always wear your PFD, no matter what. The biggest thing is that video I launched a couple of months ago, was how to get back in your kayak if you've fallen out. Because most kayaks these days you fall out before the kayak tips. And so knowing how to open water re-entry or open water get into your kayak is something that'll save your life if anytime, really. And so I go over how to do that, and I've been doing that since I was a Boy Scout teaching the canoeing merit badge. But yeah, that's key, is knowing how to get back in your kayak, and then having a change of clothes and a towel in a dry bag with something to start a fire and that kind of stuff. Get to the bank, get yourself warmed up, or get to your truck or your vehicle. So anyway, but yeah.
All right. So knocked out safety. We talk about kayaking, and, a lot of people will make a long run or just move different locations throughout a tournament or an event, or just out there pleasure fishing. How do you change up your fishing style for that during the winter months?
First thing I do is I always pay attention to the weather. I mean, even more so in the wintertime than I do in the summertime. I want to see wind. I want to see wind directions. I want to know what's going to change. And then I don't make long trips away from the boat ramp. I will, and luckily my main lake that I fish in the wintertime is a little public fishing area right down the road. And it's a mile at the longest is getting back to the boat ramp. But it's just, the biggest thing is just don't go far, and don't stand up and fish. That's when I really do not stand up and fish when I'm in the wintertime. So what I'll be doing the next few weeks is crappie fishing. So it's
heck
once that water temperature drops down into the 50s, I like to get the minnows out and go to town.
So now, what kind of life jacket? I mean, are you wearing a full life jacket, or are you wearing just the expansion life
I don't
jacket?
trust the inflatable life jacket,
Especially during the winter time.
Yeah, and they could freeze up and stuff like that. But in any time, I've had too many people have gone to test theirs and they haven't worked, and I'm just like, I don't like to trust my life to a mechanical device. So I use a NRS Chinook, which if you test it, jump in the water, it will flip you back over and hold your head up without you doing anything. And so I want to know that if I do get knocked out, I'll be upright at least and be able to breathe and not drown. But yeah, I just don't trust those inflatables, the automatic ones or whatever. It's just one of those things that's just something mechanical. And I'm a son of an engineer and I still don't trust it,
Yeah.
And for the Kayak Series tournaments, guys, for you guys who are new, you are required by the rules to wear a full life jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I have an NRS jacket as well. So, I mean, it's $120 life jacket, but it feels like I don't have anything. It's got a couple of nice pockets in the front. I put my phone in one pocket, which is attached to my bungee cord. And then, which I can't remember what that thing was called. Daggone it, right offhand.
Do you have the Rogue fishing?
Yeah, I do. I have the Rogue.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I have that. That is amazing because you can just hold it out, take a photo of your fish, put it right back in your life jacket, zip it back up, and you are good to go. And, and the whistle, that's another great thing to have. You can start blowing the daggone whistle, just in case of an emergency. So that's another thing that you should always have with you on your life jacket. And I have one as well. So, and if yours breaks, get one. They're like a couple of bucks, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And back to the pockets. Get a life jacket that has pockets that hold your phone. If you get a life jacket and you keep your phone in your life jacket, you will not take that life jacket off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, mine always has a tether on it. Matter of fact, there's something I'm designing with Rogue Fishing that is going to be branded, Fluke Master branded here next year.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
But, a tether type system that I've been using for a couple of years. Everybody's like, what are you using as a tether? Because you can't see it. It's an invisible tether. And so,
that's awesome.
So now the waders or pant that you were talking about earlier, do they have like built-in boots? What kind of?
They have socks. They're like booties.
Oh.
And so I wear and I'm not sponsored by NRS anymore, but they're boundary boots that are neoprene and real tight. You got to roll them up your leg. Those are great. They're thick. They keep you warm. You throw a pair of warm socks on underneath them. And even if they do get a little bit of water in them, I've never had an issue with them. And they've just been really, really good in the wintertime. I think the coldest I fished was in the 20s. So, I don't even want to talk about that tournament. But
yeah, no.
All right, for a lot of you guys out there, that don't fish the Kayak Series, you can carry a lot. You don't want to carry a lot. Me personally, I carry about 5 Planos, maybe 6 Plano boxes at the most. What are you carrying out there this time of the year? Well, we're still kind of in that fall to winter series, but in the next couple of months, we'll all be transitioning. But what's Gene got in his crate?
Well, I usually don't go back to bass fishing until my freezer's full of crappie.
Okay.
And,
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
I have a fish fry. I have a fish fry New Year's Day every year. And so I try to get the freezer full. But anyway, so my wintertime stuff is so basic. I could probably keep it all in one small box, blade baits, underspins, anything with some flash, that falls fast, so I can get it down deep. A jig, and really I have no confidence in jerk baits, but I always try to keep a few with me that so I can at least one day maybe get confidence in them. but blade and spoons, flutter spoons, that kind of stuff, and things that I can fish directly into the boat or cast out and bounce on the bottom. So it's just that simple. So at least until the water starts to warm up, that's all I'm fishing.
Fishing on top of that. Dang. So the lake close to you's got a lot of crappie in it, I guess.
They thing about Georgia is that all of the large lakes in Georgia are controlled by either the Army Corps of Engineers or Georgia Power.
Okay.
And so the DNR, Department of Natural Resources, really don't have a whole lot of power to manage the fisheries in that. So all we have are our public fishing areas. So our biologist is there once a week. And there's like 12 public fishing areas in the state. And he's there once a week, and he's testing the water and fertilizing it when he needs to and keeping the bait fish healthy. And those are the ones where I'm catching, last August, it was average 104 inches every day.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And so they're just giant bass, giant crappie, giant shad. The gizzard shad and the threadfin are just healthy as all get out. Now we're on a little bit of a downhill run because we've had 2 shad kills in a row during the wintertime.
Oh, wow.
So I'm seeing a little bit of a downward trend on the size of the bass and the health of the bass, but I think we'll be back up in a couple of years. So
awesome. Yeah. Well, let's move into 2023 for a little bit. Like you said, you plan on taking back over your YouTube channel, pumping out a lot more videos. Is there anything special that we can, look forward to for 2023 or something, Gene, you've been doing this thing. How long have you been recording videos, Gene? 10 years?
14.
Yeah.
14 years.
Yeah.
So is there something that you want to record? I'm gonna put you on the spot that you've never done before, said this is what I want to do, or or a new style. I mean, you said you still want to teach people. We understand that.
Yeah. So my fans saw the change. I think it was August I started, maybe September. I did a little test run of these videos. Now, remember, everybody's doing these 5 baits every month videos.
Oh yeah.
Everyone either started it. I did it about a month or 2 later, and then all of a sudden everybody's doing them. Well, what I started to do different was I'll make that video, and then I'll make a video about every single bait and dive into depth on how to fish those baits. So I'm not just introducing the bait. And so and I'm going to try to launch those pretty quickly. In other words, do the bait video about a week and a half before the month starts, and then do the other ones really fast. So these guys are ready for that month. I don't want that video to come out in the middle of the month like it had been prior. Yeah. And so I want to, those will be like my foundational videos for each month. Those are the ones that are guaranteed to happen. And then after that, it leaves me plenty of room to do just about anything, do brand stuff for my sponsors. That way I don't feel like I'm shortchanging the people who just like my instructional videos and all they see are promotional videos about my sponsored stuff, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so that's my goal. My goal is 100 videos this year.
Wow.
But I'll be happy with 80.
Okay.
And so it'll be the biggest year I've ever had, even with 80.
Yeah.
But how many followers are you sitting at right now?
450,000, something like that. A little over 450,000, I think.
Nice.
Wow.
So yeah. So it's just this next year, it's just going to be, I'm going to be bait focused.
Okay.
And really try to get back to, even if I got to do the same bait over and over again, 2-3 times during the year, or of course I've got 800 videos, so I've already covered most of everything. But there's always stuff to add to it, and just
we're always learning, changing the way we do things.
Oh yeah. And we're
learning different bodies of water. Yeah.
Yep. And that's one thing people got to understand. If you're looking at instructional videos, if you're trying to figure out how to do something specific, watch a bunch of different videos about it, because everybody fishes different. We've all things. I learned so much from fishing with other people that it's ridiculous, and it's so much fun to say, okay, you're doing it this way, or you figured this out, and that kind of stuff.
I've got a buddy that lives in North Carolina, and he come up here to do some smallmouth fishing. I fish really, really steep, deep, clear highlands reservoirs, South Holston, Norris, a few others, Watauga. And, he's like, you ever throw a square bill? And I'm like, a square bill to me is like a DT10, bro. I'm like, if I'm going down a bank, I was like, I used to always joke and say, if I'm if I'd read these articles in Bassmaster when I was younger, and they'd be like, during the wintertime, find those 45-degree. I'm like, so don't fish the 90-degree banks. I'm like, because they're all 45. So if you're 10 foot off the bank, you done over 30 foot of water.
Yeah, wow. The only 45-degree bank is in the back of the creek.
Yeah. It's all basically bluff walls on the main lake.
Yep.
All right, so did I understand you right? Will you be fishing KBF next year, or are you going to be behind the scenes with KBF next year?
I'm going to fish the 10 because I qualified for it, and then of course the 10 Invitational, which is just before the 10, and the 2 trail tournaments that are down there for in Florida. I'm going to be probably down there 14, 15 days like I am every January.
Yeah.
Right.
And then after that, I might pick up another one, but I don't see one that really jumps out that says, I might fish Grand Lake.
All right.
Just to go over and hang out with Edwin Evers and give me an excuse to get over there. But yeah, it's one of those things. I'm just going to be behind the scenes trying to help it grow and being the calming voice for our friend Chad Hoover. So.
Poor guy.
I'll pick on him worse than anybody. I love him to death. That's why I get to pick on him.
All right. So you said you're shoot 80 videos. We know you've fished out of the aluminum boat for a while, and now out of the kayak. Are we going to see a mix of the videos? I know I keep jumping back, but just keeps pumping all kayak.
All kayak, mainly because I don't have a boat sponsor, and I hate to put it in the business side, but kayaking is paying the bills.
Yeah,
there you go.
And so I would love to do more out of my boat. Alumacraft stopped making welded boats altogether. They made a mistake, and I won't get into it, but during COVID, they made a horrible decision and shut down their boat plant that closed it to move it. And all of a sudden, the demand for boats went sky high, and they had absolutely no way of making it.
Wow.
And so they had to shut all that down and fire a bunch of people, and yeah, it was ridiculous. And so I still have my boat. I'm probably going to sell it and buy an RV. But
what about that rooftop tent? The rooftop tent.
Oh, I love that thing. But the RV is going to be my office. I'll put it over.
I understand.
So yeah, I love that tent. But
I know I saw your video and I was like, I've been wanting a tent real bad because I started sleeping on the Forerunner, and I bought me an air mattress.
Yep.
And I got me a Jack 3 battery. And I run everything off that, fans and battery charging the devices and all that stuff when I'm out recording and out covering events. And it's going to be another year where I live out of the back of the vehicle. So
I saved so much money pre-fishing for the national championship by having that thing, because Kentucky Lake, there's a lot of places you can just camp for free.
Yeah.
And they don't say anything. And then if you count up how many days that I spent in it this year and take those days and see how much it would have cost me for hotels, it paid for itself this year. We cheap. It's a $4,000 tent, but it paid for itself this year.
I was looking at the 4x4s, and I think they're right at $3,000 for one of those. But guys, we're talking now. I mean, it's $150 for a good, even down in Bugs Island, Virginia, and Clarksville, Virginia, which ain't freaking nothing there whatsoever. I mean, it's one street, one horse town. I mean, it's $150 a night dinner, and I'm staying at state parks for $25.
Yeah.
I mean, I can eat some real good food with the other $125.
That's true.
I mean, that's a whole lot of groceries at Walmart or whatever. And the cool thing about it, like Gene's saying, it allows me to go down. Now I don't have to think about it. I go down Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Stay the whole freaking weekend for $75 compared to still I'm half the price of the room for one night.
Yep. I mean, it's worth it. And with mine, being able to set it up and take it down real fast makes all the difference in the world. I used to travel with tents and had to set them up and have a base camp, and it just became too much. And I was just like, man, let's just do this.
It was crazy, Gene. I checked into a state park. I checked into a state park down there. And they're like, are you going to be sleeping out of the back of your vehicle? Or are you going to, I was like, out of the back of my vehicle. Like, okay, well, she wrote it on the little slip, went on through. And I was like, I guess a lot of people are doing it now,
Well, I keep what's called a decoy tent, or what I call a decoy tent. It's a $40 Amazon tent that pops up really fast. and I get to my campsite at the state park and I throw that thing out, and that's my charging station. That's where I charge all my batteries and run my generator and that kind of stuff if I need to run a generator. But anyway, that marks my campsite. That way they don't book my campsite thinking I didn't show up while I'm out fishing. A lot of state parks will do that. So it's always good to keep a little cheap $40 pop-up Amazon tent.
Yeah,
I'll have to get one of those because I do have a single. We're going off topic, but I have a single person tent. But I spent a lot more than $40 on that thing because I wanted it to stay nice and dry. I think it was about 100 and a half.
I don't know what topic we were on, so don't worry.
So about it. Here, I'll steer. So let me take over here for a minute. So you're going to up your productivity. Do you got a weekly schedule? Are you going to drop them certain days? You're going to try and we talking a Monday, Wednesday, Friday? What are we talking?
I'm going to try. I'm going to have to look and see what analytics have changed. I always like to drop one on Sunday. And the reason I have Friday Night Lives is because Friday's the worst day to launch a video.
It is. Friday and Saturday both stink. Let me just say that.
I don't even upload reels that week because the numbers are awful.
Yeah. Friday and Saturday is horrible. So Sunday's usually when I launch a video, and then I'll try to do it. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do one every day, but I like to do it every other day just to give that first one a chance to run its course, and then the next one. But what's nice, and Geek can understand, can see this too. What's really good about instructional videos as opposed to vlogs and storytelling videos is instructional videos live forever. I'm still making a living off of the videos that I made 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
They're still getting views, and so then it becomes a numbers game. And if you look at the vlogging style, they live for a period of time and then they're done because they're no longer relevant.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, I figured out I was going to play the turtle game instead of the hare game. Years ago. And so it really is. It's one of those things where now it's just a numbers thing. But I don't want to sacrifice good videos and good production for numbers.
Yeah.
So if I find that my grind is really killing my production quality, I'm going to cut it down and just going to say, okay, let's do 50 videos this year or whatever. So
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's just like podcasting. Coolest thing here. Podcasting is more, just like the YouTube side of it as well. People go back and listen to old shows all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Because they want to hear their interview with their certain favorite person, whomever that is that we've interviewed. So, it's the same cool thing. And I tell people, if it wasn't for you and Bassmaster, I don't know if I'd be where I am today. Because, people are like, this Gene Jensen dude, and you got to think I've been doing this 12 years now. So, yeah, I'm like, no, go check him out on YouTube. So here we are a few years later.
How many years ago did we do the first pod? I'm getting us off topic again.
Oh, wow. Many years.
It was right after the FLW championship, right after John Cox won the FLW championship.
Oh, crap. We have to look that up. Geek, look that up.
Yeah.
That's how long. That's when we did our first one because I was in the parking lot right after the championship.
Yes. Holy cow.
Yeah,
it has been a long time.
Yep.
Geek's looking that up for us real quick.
Oh, yeah. But wintertime is actually one of my favorite times to catch bass because you got to think of it this way. Look at a bass in the late summer, they're skinny as a rail most of the time.
Yes.
They're unhealthy and everything else. And then somehow between then and pre-spawn, they gain a whole lot of weight, not just in eggs.
Yeah.
So they got to eat. They're eating during that period of time. They're not moving much.
Right.
And so one of the things that I learned at that resort I used to guide on was these bass would hang out, and there was always a current in this lake because it had 7,000 to 9,000 gallons a minute going over the spillway.
Oh, wow.
So always current. And so I would set up on an outside bend in the creek channel, and I just let my bait drift along that outside bend, and they'd just be stacked. And that's all they're doing is you're just sitting on that outside bend because that's what pushes. That's where the current's going to push stuff towards them.
Right. Yeah. Food.
They're just opening their mouth. Now, another thing I realized, and I understand this lake was full of 4 to 8 pound bass, all of them stocked, and they were feeder trained. They were trained to go to the feeders and eat the fish food. So this was a great place to learn how bass do things. And so one of the things I realized was they would sit there, and even though they weren't hungry, if something got within a striking distance, they would open their mouth and hold it in their mouth until it was time to eat. So they'll hold a live minnow, they'll hold a worm, they'll hold it in their mouth until it's time to swallow. And then if they don't need to swallow it, they'll just hold it in their mouth. That's why a lot of times when you're dragging stuff in the wintertime, they'll pick it up, but you don't feel them.
Yeah.
Because they're not trying to kill it. They're not trying to.
They're just holding it.
They're just holding it.
Yep.
And so you feel that little mushy feeling when you try to drag it one more time. You better be hammering it because they're sitting there.
Swing away. 2016 is what this article
says. That's when we started. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Geek, man, we could talk forever with, you know.
Oh, yeah. And I need to get a hold of Mr. Jensen.
You going to be at the East Tennessee show?
I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be at the Classic. I signed a boat deal with Cayman Boats this year, so I am going to be there and at the Red Crest in Charlotte. But all that being said, you know, I know me and you swap numbers, and I don't ever text you or call you because I know you're a busy man, and I feel like real.
Hey,
bad.
if I don't want to answer, I just won't answer. So
okay, I get it. That's what I tell everybody. I'm like, look, man, if I don't answer, I'll get back to you later. Don't take offense to it.
Yep.
So okay, good. As I say, look, we're men. It's just how it works.
Yes.
You know, I'm
don't be butthurt over it. You know.
Yeah. The East Tennessee show's up in the air for me right now because we are going to Red Crest because Red Crest in our backyard. And so I'm hoping to go see a better Forestwood Cup. I mean, I didn't mean to say that. I mean, a better Red Crest. So we're going to that, and then the Bassmaster Classic, and there's a Bassmaster Open event here on Bugs Island this year. Yes, and that's an hour and a half from the house. So we're going down there. So we got a lot of traveling, so something's gonna have to get dropped, and that could get dropped. But we will be at the Classic. So
the Classic, East Tennessee, you know, the East Tennessee show. I mean,
I think the East Tennessee show is one of the best shows in the South.
It is the best show, and I have, you know, I've been preaching it, and now I have people from Virginia that go down there with their wives, husbands, whatever, do the whole family thing together. And we'll stay for a couple of days. And I got a bunch of different friends that do it because I brought them all down. I was like, come on, guys. This is the best show that you get. The hardest working lady that you'll ever want to meet. Yeah. I mean, it's like a great show, great products. If you love hand painted stuff, handmade stuff. I mean, it was different and it was something good. And like I said, did we go last year? Yeah, we went last year. Because we were going to...
Yeah, because me and you hung out.
That's right. Yeah, we did the video together.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So now I've got another question, though.
Okay, go ahead.
And by the way, you know, you was talking about evergreen stuff and the videos. You need to holler at me. I played with a lot of stuff this past year. I played because the jump's coming close for me. It's... I just need to nail down one or two things. So... So are you going to, and I know you're already there, or at least I think I seen you on there. I think I follow you. You going to do any more TikTok stuff as we move forward?
I don't think there's much of a choice between I got to do TikToks and I've got to do from the beginning when I used to do seminars about social media, when I was the only influencer there was. And I would go to these company deals and do seminars about social media. I've always said, you've got to stay up with what the kids are doing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so I've already got a TikTok deal. I played around with it. I love what I can do through it. And then YouTube Shorts is another one that I've really got to.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But the TikTok stuff is just going to flow right into Instagram. That's going to be one and the same, but Shorts a little different. So,
and one last thing is more of a recommendation because I always call you the legitimate OG of the bass fishing. Since you wear a G hat, you really need to have an OG because look at it, it's almost an O, and you can have the Georgia. Come on, dude, I'll buy 3. I'm giving you merch ideas. Just have it like on the bill right here. The OG.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I might have to sticker a picture or something like that. That'd be cool.
It is funny. It's funny you're talking about like, being part of the big social media person. Clark Ream was another one. And he was big. He was like one of the first. I mean, I got to hang out with him up on a Potomac this year, and we talked for a little while. And he was one of the first big ones to bring in bass fishing to like Facebook. We didn't have Instagram back then.
He understood that it was going to be something.
Right.
Yeah. I learned it during the forum days before Facebook. I learned that, hey, wait a minute, there's a way that we can. And I was watching Steve Parks, the owner of Rage Tail, watching him do it through forums, and he built a cult style like following through forums, and I watched him. I said, holy cow, this guy gets it. And he did it by simply communicating with the customer or communicating with the enthusiast, and then they became family. It was just amazing to watch. So I was like, hey, and that's when I was still trying to figure things out and stuff like that. I said, I need to keep that in the back of my head.
Well, we've go ahead, Geek.
I started in 2016, and I didn't even want to do it. Like my son, my daughter, my best friend at work, like I was, I work IT and was coaching football for the local high school team. And, I'd actually seen somebody talk about using GoPros as cameras, kind of like to watch footage. Hey, I'm an offensive defensive line coach. I love game film.
Yeah.
And so I kind of snuck the school's handy cam out just to watch, and it was right around the craze, whatever year that was, the craze of the A-rig, and I went out and the first day I catch a double on it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the best bait in the world. But I would have swore that I caught it like on the drop, like right at the first of the cast. Because I'm one of those guys, I'm like, listen, I can remember every fish, every bait, the retrieve. And then I noticed it was halfway back right after I gave it a little tweak. And I was like, oh, I was wrong on that.
Dang.
And so that kind of changed me. And then in high school, actually, me and my wife got pregnant our senior year. And so it kind of curtailed my college plans. But I was, I was actually going to college for sports broadcasting. I've got believe it or not, I can switch off the redneck and jump right into hello everybody, what's it's like I can't even do it right now. Like, welcome ladies and gentlemen to tonight's blah, blah, blah. I can't even do it. It's sad. I'm out of practice. But I'd had some editing, and it just kind of all come together. I was like, well, how do I kill all this dead time?
So, I'm still here. I just lost the battery. That's all.
But that's kind of what got it. I was always like, because to be honest, I was sitting around yelling at high school kids, making them do up downs till they puke, and and I'm thinking, listen, the first little 13-year-old that comes up and drops an F-bomb, I'm gonna be like, listen, son, I'm coming to your house with bar soap and my belt.
You need to try my saying when my Boy Scouts used to cuss.
Yeah.
My old saying was, it sure is hard to look smart with stupid coming out of your mouth.
Oh, that's brilliant.
There you go.
I applaud that.
It's about to come back on. The camera is. But yeah, I used to say that a lot to my scouts. I got my son saying it. He almost got in a fight on the school bus when he was in kindergarten.
That ain't no good.
But yeah, my Boy Scouts wrote a list of phrases that I say a lot. Like when they start dating girls, I tell them, I said, dude, why are you wasting your money on somebody else's wife?
Yeah.
So,
that's funny.
Well, it's funny you talked earlier about the whole social media thing. We here at the basscast.com have started using Band, which is for organization and for groups, and we're trying to bring it all back home because we're starting to get banned from Facebook. Facebook has kicked off a lot of our posts and has kicked off a lot of our people and has deleted their accounts completely. So we've moved a lot of our social media to banned. We're still going to use Facebook, but we always have that backup. Yeah. And I was talking about it with Geek earlier. I'm a big Gary Vaynerchuk fan who's big into social media. And he's like, if you see something else coming, you better jump on when it's fresh, hot, ride it till the ride's off. And hopefully you got enough that when the next wave, we're just riding waves and we're riding waves of new things coming out each and every year. So, but yeah, the Basscast is on band and we appreciate everyone's following us there so far. But brother, we could talk all night long, but some of us have to get up and go to bed, go to work in the morning. So
it's only early. It's still early here. What you talking about?
That is me.
I do too. I got to be in at 6:30, and then I've got to go get blood work done because I never go to the doctor and my wife demands it. So
yeah, I had to vote this morning. So yeah.
Well, Gene, man, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, bro.
Thank you as always. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before you leave, or shout out for, or besides checking out the YouTube channel for all the new videos coming out?
Be sure because I may not be doing anything right now, but like I said, starting right after Christmas, I'm going to start rolling videos out. Mainly, like I said, mainly bait videos. But if you guys are really new to this or have not seen my channel, the one thing I want to do, and it has not changed, you can ask Geek this, in the 15 years I've been doing this, or 13 years, I want to teach somebody how to fish.
Yep.
And the numbers don't make any difference to me. I don't pay attention to my subscribers unless somebody asks me. I don't pay attention to the views unless I'm checking analytics just to see if I can improve some stuff. I want to find that one person that wants to learn how to fish, and I want to teach them how to do it. And so that's what my videos are always geared around. I always try to picture that single mom that has a son or a daughter that wants to learn how to fish, and mama is scared to death to go into the tackle shop and ask old Bubba behind the counter.
Yeah.
Because she has no confidence, and it's just I get that. And so I want to keep it to that level where anybody can come and learn how to do it. And that's my God-given talent, is keeping myself at a level that everybody understands.
Yeah.
And so I keep it simple. But I do get into some more advanced stuff every once in a while, but I just love what I do. I've been doing it long enough to where I just realize this is my calling in life. And so if you guys want to learn anything about fishing, I guarantee it's on my channel. It may be 800 years old, but it's there.
800 years old.
Definitely my biggest influence. And I appreciate you always being great to me from the time we met at the East Tennessee show.
Yep.
All right, guys, like you said, follow, watch. I went back and watched a lot of videos when I first started this whole thing. I was introduced to him as well. So, and guys, some of the tackle stores can be a little scary. I went into one this past weekend that was a store that was added another store that was added another store. And I felt claustrophobic after a little while.
Yeah.
There's the only tackle store on the whole freaking island, and it had everything you could think of. It slammed into, it looked like 3 double wides put together.
Yep. Those are my favorite stores, but that's because I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Holy cow. So, man, look forward to seeing you in the 2023. Happy holidays to you. Yeah, and again, appreciate you coming on, and thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it, man. It's been a blast.
All right, guys, we really appreciate Mr. Gene Jensen for coming on and talking with us tonight. We always love having Gene on. It ends up just being a big old conversation about life, fishing, life on the road, the tour. You guys heard it all. And, he's a great dude. If you guys see him at the Classic, the Bonafide booth, or any of his other many sponsors, please say hello. And, please, I'll be honest with him. He is a celebrity. And so don't take up a lot of time. Just say hi, Gene, introduce yourself, shake his hand, and roll on, because there's another 50 to 100 people in line behind him. So, but he is a great dude. Lots of great videos. I ain't gonna lie. I will not lie to you guys. When I first started this thing, I fished ponds and deep sea fishing. That's what I grew up doing.
Yep.
We used to carry a canoe 3 to 5 miles, 5 guys, and fish out of freaking canoes. So, I mean, that's how I grew up. Farm ponds for whatever would bite on the end of a cork. And then it went to deep sea fishing, to day trips, deep sea fishing, to pier fishing. And then I got into bass fishing. And if it wasn't for Gene, and like Geek was saying, you know, he is the original. And, you know, the dude had, I mean, I would go back and watch his videos over and over and over again. And I recommend you doing the same thing. I mean,
absolutely.
I could ramble here, but it's almost like class. I mean, you know, study, and check out his videos. So appreciate him being on as always. I am going to line up another show. We got about 2 more or 3 more weeks in this period. Then we have the holidays again. Then we have the first of the year, and then we're going to be talking Bassmaster Classic. Hopefully get some people on from the expo world and talk about that. So it's a lot happening here. Appreciate you guys. New website coming soon. A lot of great things coming soon. The Basscast tournament series wraps up December 10th. We're waiting on dates to be approved for the 2023 schedule. It has been submitted. We're just waiting on approval for that. Danielle's going to have a kayak series meeting really soon with the group. And then those dates have already been picked. We just got to put the lakes and rivers with that schedule. And then that schedule will be out as well. So I don't know. It's kind of hard here because if you don't watch it here in Central Virginia, it's this freaking big. You'll be fishing on top of each other. And we don't want to do that.
Yep.
We're here to give you guys an opportunity to fish maybe at a different level than a lot of other tournaments, but with a great payout and a decent entry fee where the last person is always going to get his money back on the entry fee. And that's how we always do it right here at the basscast.com. So appreciate everyone's fishing with us. We've had a crap load of anglers fish with us this year. It's been a great year. It's been a great year for the website. So thank you all. Thank you all for listening to Basscast Radio. And we will be back next weekend with another great guest. And make sure you guys head on over and check out Bass Geek's latest video. So appreciate you guys. Thank you.